By 2026, the entry-level software engineer might be extinct. Not because the work is gone, but because the ladder to seniority has been set on fire by the very tools meant to help us build faster. We are witnessing the death of the junior developer. AI agents and large language models are writing code, debugging applications, and deploying infrastructure at a fraction of the cost of human labor. But behind the dazzling productivity gains lies a hidden crisis. We are inadvertently dismantling the pipeline that creates senior engineering talent, and the long-term consequences could devastate the tech industry. For decades, software engineering operated on an unofficial apprenticeship model. You started as a junior developer. You wrote boilerplate code, updated unit tests, fixed minor bugs, and occasionally broke the staging environment. This wasn't just busy work. It was a carefully calibrated crucible. By wrestling with the mundane, junior developers built mental models of complex systems. They learned how code bases evolve, how technical debt accumulates, and how to communicate with product teams. The menial tasks were the tuition paid for senior-level intuition. Today, that training ground is being outsourced to algorithms. Enter the era of AI coding assistants. Tools like GitHub Copilot, ChatGPT, and Claude have revolutionized the development cycle. They can spit out a REST API, configure a database, and write comprehensive test suites in seconds. What used to take a junior developer 3 days now takes a senior developer 3 prompts. The productivity multiplier is undeniable. Developers report being up to 50% faster. For startups and enterprise companies alike, this feels like a golden age of rapid prototyping and limitless feature delivery. But this speed comes with a steep hidden cost. The economic data paints a grim picture for new graduates. Over the past 2 years, amidst broader tech hiring freezes, entry-level developer roles have plummeted. Job boards show a massive shift toward hiring only senior and staff-level engineers. Why hire 10 junior developers when you can hire 2 senior architects armed with AI? Chief financial officers are thrilled. They see an immediate reduction in headcount, lower onboarding costs, and sustained output. It looks like a flawless victory for the balance sheet. But this short-term economic optimization is entirely blind to the long-term structural integrity of the workforce. This brings us to the phenomenon known as the Seniority Trap. A senior engineer isn't just a junior engineer who knows more syntax. Seniority is forged in the fires of production outages, nuanced architectural trade-offs, and the painful process of untangling legacy spaghetti code. It requires deep context and systemic thinking. You cannot prompt engineer your way to this level of wisdom. But if AI takes over all the foundational tasks, where do juniors get the reps? If the bottom rung of the ladder is gone, how does anyone climb to the top? We are actively destroying the talent pipeline. The industry is operating under the dangerous assumption that the current crop of senior developers will be around forever. But humans retire, burn out, or move into management. When the current generation of senior talent leaves the codebase, who replaces them? The newly graduated computer science students who have spent 5 years acting merely as AI supervisors? Managing an AI is not the same as understanding the deep architecture of a distributed system. We are creating a generation of developers who can generate code but cannot maintain it. Without the rigorous human learning process, code bases will begin to degrade. AI is phenomenal at generating plausible, fast solutions, but it often hallucinates subtle logic errors or introduces architectural inconsistencies that aren't immediately obvious. Historically, a senior developer would catch these during code review, but as the ratio of AI-generated code to senior oversight explodes, the technical debt will quietly skyrocket. The systems will become increasingly fragile, built on layers of synthesized code that nobody in the company fully understands from first principles. Fast forward just 5 to 10 years. A critical zero-day vulnerability hits, or a massive production database corrupts. The company scrambles to fix it, only to realize that the fundamental architecture was generated by a legacy AI model. The engineers on staff are prompt experts, not system internals experts. They don't know how to manually debug the kernel or rewrite the memory-leaking microservice because they never had to learn. This isn't just a company failing. Scaled across the globe, this is the recipe for a systemic collapse of technical expertise. To prevent this collapse, we must radically rethink computer science education and boot camps. The days of spending 6 months learning how to write basic loops and REST endpoints are over. The curriculum must pivot. We need to teach system design, code review, security auditing, and architectural theory from day one. Students must learn how to read and critique AI-generated code, identifying algorithmic bias and security flaws. The new entry-level skill is not creation. It is curation and critical analysis. We have to train juniors to be junior architects. The role of the junior developer must evolve. Instead of being the people who write the boilerplate, they must become the people who validate it. Companies need to create roles like junior code auditor or AI systems reviewer. These roles would pair new talent with senior mentors to specifically dissect, test, and integrate AI outputs. This restores the apprenticeship model but modernizes it. They are still wrestling with the code, but instead of writing it from scratch, they are untangling it, testing it, and understanding its place in the larger ecosystem. Corporate mindsets must also shift immediately. Chief technology officers and chief financial officers need to stop viewing junior developers as purely an operational expense to be optimized away. Hiring and training junior talent must be categorized as research and development. You are not paying for the code they write today. You are funding your future senior talent pipeline. Without this investment, companies will find themselves held hostage by astronomical consulting fees when their AI-generated systems inevitably break down and they lack in-house expertise. Ultimately, software engineering has never been just about writing code. It is about translating complex human needs into reliable, scalable digital solutions. AI can handle the translation to syntax, but it cannot handle the empathy, the strategic foresight, or the ethical considerations of building technology for human beings. The seniority trap is a stark warning. If we automate away the learning phase of our most critical industry, we automate away our future capacity to innovate. We must choose to keep humans in the loop, not just as operators, but as masters of the craft. The entry-level software engineer as we knew it may be extinct, but the need for human ingenuity is greater than ever. The ladder to seniority has been set on fire, yes, but we have the tools and the foresight to build an elevator in its place. By acknowledging the economic realities, combating the seniority trap, and actively investing in the next generation of technical minds, we can ensure that the AI revolution empowers our workforce rather than hollows it out. The choice is ours, but the clock is ticking.